Jamming with History, Chapter 17 Consequences. It'll be fine. Just to drive to school. We've done this dozens of times by now. I can do this, Rowan told his reflection that morning. He had been debating if it would be best to check social media to see if the tabloids had made quick work of his 18th birthday picture before he got to school. In the end, he decided against it. It would only make him more nervous than he already was. He expected that at some point in the next few days, everyone would assume that Roman and Virgil were dating. And that was fine. He was mostly worried that Virgil's effort to be the most interesting one of the two yesterday might have been too effective. What if the people at school gave him grief over the skirt? God, that skirt! And the dress! And holding him while they danced! Woman, it's time to go! As he heard Danny's voice, Roman felt his throat close up and his muscles tense. Virgil was here. Okay, here goes nothing. He checked himself over one last time. He looked good. He put on his brand new biker jacket, ran his hand through his hair. He had styled it this morning, but you couldn't tell anymore. Picked up his bag and made his way downstairs. Before opening the door, he took a deep, steadying breath. Just like any other morning. It doesn't have to be weird, he promised himself. He picked up the new white helmet from its designated table. It had a golden crown drawn above the visor, and he'd squealed and hugged his parents tight when he'd opened the present. See you tonight, he called back to their steward. His parents had an early meeting, and had come to wake him up and wish him a good day. His mother had even offered to let him take a day off so he could clear his mind before seeing Virgil again and facing his fears. He had declined, though. He didn't want to worry Virgil. Besides, a prince doesn't hide from difficult situations. He stepped through the door and looked up to find Virgil leaning against Paranoia, as he had so many times. He looked him over and smirked. Looking good, man? Ready to conquer high school? He asked. Roman put on a brave smile and nodded. Yeah, let's do this. He handed Virgil his bag and put on his helmet, not missing the approving smirk Virgil sent him. Don't know about you, but I got a ton of followers overnight. Didn't expect it, but I'm not complaining. Guess the tabloids figured out who I am even without spelling it out for them, he joked carelessly. Roman relaxed at the familiar, comforting tone of Virgil's voice. He would be fine. They would both be fine. Well, I gave them a few extra hours with that Instagram post, he offered. Virgil nodded. True. Can you imagine it though? All those second-rate wannabe journalists scrambling to figure out who that nobody is in the picture, he laughed. Woman pursed his lips. Now, I don't think I'm going to let that one slide. You are not a nobody. You are literally the coolest person I know. And not to brag, but I have met some high-profile people through my parents' work. Scarlett Johansson and Tom Hanks were dressed by them all of last year, remember? He pointed out. Virgil blinked in surprise. Okay. Wow. I literally have nothing to say to that, he allowed. Roman nodded. Good. Now don't you dare talking down on yourself again. That's my best friend you are talking about, he reminded him. Virgil raised his hands. All right, superstar, I got it. We should get going, though. You sure you want to take Paranoia? He checked as he put Roman's bag away. He had texted earlier to ask if he should try to borrow a car again. Roman had declined. He was not going to adjust his routine for anyone. Yes, I was okay with it last week. I'll be fine today. And you are right. We can't be late, he said as he put on his helmet. He and Virgil got on, and he tried very hard not to think too much about it as he wrapped his arms around Virgil's middle. This was platonic, just so you wouldn't fly off. It was fine. Ready? Virgil asked. Not trusting his voice, Roman nodded. Okay, here we go. And with that, they drove off. The world flew by, and soon Virgil stopped his bike and let Roman get off. Virgil handed Roman his bag and took his helmet. Roman noticed he was working more slowly than usual. He was more nervous than he wanted to show. Virgil, you okay? he asked gently. Yeah, just it's the first day of school after I told my friends. I'm a little worried they'll act different now. They've had time to process, he admitted. Hey, I don't know your friends that well, but from what I've seen, they are pretty cool people in general, he offered. Yeah, I don't worry they'll ditch me, Virgil clarified. Oh, well, Roman couldn't argue with that. Virgil's friends might indeed worry about him more. They always seemed concerned when he ate it at the park, no matter how dismissive he was of it himself. Well, they corrected themselves when you pointed out that they'd been rude to us. So if they do stuff you don't like, I'm sure they'll listen to you if you tell them, he offered. Virgil nodded. Yeah, you're right, he nodded, as he took off his jacket, and Roman was completely speechless. Virgil was wearing a sleeveless, dark purple shirt with the top buttons undone over the deep blue jeans and a loose black tie around his neck. One, gay panic. Two, was that his family's brand on the shirt? Virgil noticed him staring and rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. Yeah, your parents sent me this shirt as a sample of their new line to help me decide. I liked it, so I decided to wear it, he offered. If you're bothered, then I can just keep my jacket over it. It should cover the branding, he assured him, already in the process of putting his jacket back on. No, I was surprised, that's all. It looks really good on you, he assured him. Virgil relaxed and once again shrugged on off his jacket. Okay, well, we've stalled enough. Did you eat anything? He asked. Roman shook his head. Me neither. I'm starting to wonder if that was a mistake, though. Well, too late now, Virgil muttered as he led the way to the side entrance. The upside of this entrance was that it was close to both their lockers, and they didn't have to pass half the school on their way there, which would have been the case if they'd had to use the front doors. Still, it was clear that more than a few people read the tabloids, and the rest had heard through the grapevine. As they made their way to Roman's locker, there were glances and whispers. Virgil just walked on with his head held high, and Roman followed his lead. You know, I'm looking forward to showing Mix Rostami our progress. Wanna bet we are the only ones who are all done with research, let alone having the basic of a presentation? He offered as a way to distract them both. Virgil relaxed us once. Oh, I am not looking to lose money. We're about to make everyone pale in comparison. Our presentation is going to be epic, he grinned, making Roman laugh. Your dad would be so proud, he told him. Thanks. Don't ever mention it, Virgil insisted with a playful grin. They managed to ignore the stares and whispers as Roman got his things and even all the way up to Virgil's locker. That's where trouble found them. Well, surprised to see you here, Sanders, Chad grinned viciously, like a shark that smelled blood. Roman instinctively tensed. That was not a good look. That look meant trouble, and this time not for him, but for Virgil. Here? That is my locker. Where else would I be on a Monday morning in the middle of the semester? Virgil scoffed as he walked over to his locker and started to get his things. Roman stayed close, just in case Virgil needed backup. I figured you'd be hiding under your blankie now that your secret is out, Chet challenged, stalking after them. Virgil looked back with a raised eyebrow. What secret? He said, uninterested. Chet seemed a little annoyed that he hadn't made a dent in Virgil's composure yet. He didn't let it bother him for long, though, probably convinced it was only a matter of time before Virgil cracked. You seriously want to tell me you don't know? It's all over the place, he insisted with a wolfish grin. Well, apparently not, 'cause I managed to miss out, Virgil pointed out, closing his locker and leaning against it. Roman knew that part of this confidence was an act. It was clear in the small things, like the way he held his shoulders turned just a tad inwards. Still, he was in awe of how effortless Virgil made it seem. Somewhere during their team up, he'd forgotten that Virgil was the most popular and admired guy of the school. This was a strong reminder. People were gathering around them, wanting to see if the power balance would shift. Your little date with your boyfriend. Everyone's talking about it. I don't even know what's going to do you in. You dating this loser or wearing that ridiculous outfit. But you are done. You stand no chance of beating me now, Chad declared smugly. Beating him? Okay, a few things here, Chad, Virgil said, sounding supremely bored. And Chad was definitely pissed off at that. One, Roman is not my boyfriend. He's my best friend. If we were dating, then I'd be one lucky guy. Roman hoped he managed to keep his composure. Virgil had to stop saying stuff like that. And it would be none of your business. What, are you jealous? Do you want to date him? Or me? 'Cause you don't stand a chance on both fronts, Virgil assured the speechless athlete. Virgil ignored his attempts to get out a witty retort. Two, I looked damn cute in that outfit, and you know it. Don't be mad just 'cause you don't have the legs to pull it off, he grinned, making the football player flush and stammer. Three, neither of those were secrets. I didn't advertise that I'm bisexual 'cause I didn't see why it mattered. And sure, I've never worn a skirt to school before, but mostly because I figured that the skirts I wanna wear would be dress coded. And last, now you got my attention. Beat you at what? He finally asked, with a playful grin. That really grounded Chad's gears. Prom king, of course, you freak! He scoffed, pointing at a poster Roman had overlooked completely. It announced that Virgil and Chad were both nominated for prom king. Oh, hey Diana! Congrats, girl! Virgil cited to the girl in question who'd been watching the exchange. She was head of the yearbook committee and in the running for prom queen against Chad's girlfriend, head cheerleader Serenity, notably absent from this confrontation, either late or uninterested, but most likely the former. You got my vote. You look super gorgeous in that tiara, he assured her before turning to Chad. Okay, so guess there is another thing. If wearing what I like and hanging out with who I like would cost me the election, then I wouldn't have been nominated in the first place. Thanks for letting me know, though. Pranking stuff completely slipped my mind. Didn't even remember signing up. Did I do it on a dare or something? He wondered aloud. Probably to upset Chet more. The more casual he was about something Chet cared about, the more it would fry his circuits. Nope, you were nominated by the people, Tristan, one of Virgil's friends, announced as he and the rest of both Virgil and Roman's friends groups emerged from the masses, making Chet take a small step back, though he was still fuming. Wait, when did nominations go up? Virgil asked, baffled. Last Monday. We were curious when you'd catch on, Amber said. I still think he wouldn't have realized until they put the crown on his head if no one told him, Joe insisted. Virgil chuckled. You might be right on that one, he allowed. Well, as fun as this was, we should all head to class. One last thing though, Chad, Virgil said, his face more serious. Your experiences aren't universal. Just 'cause you are too insecure to handle a skirt or a varied social network doesn't mean everyone is like that. And just 'cause you need a plastic crown to feel validated doesn't mean I do. If I win, that'd be fun, I guess, but if not, then that's fine. Nothing to lose sleep over. Have a good day, he bid before turning and heading to class, letting the cheers and applause and whooping of the crowd wash over him, only looking back to make sure Woman was still following him. Hey V, you okay? Amber wondered. Sure, you guys go to class. We'll be fine without a babysit. Thanks for showing up, though, he answered sincerely. Of course, V. Anyone who messes with one of us deals with all of us, Xander stated. See you at lunch, man, Oliver waved, and with that they parted ways with their group and continued on to their class, ignoring the gossip around them. That was awesome! The look on Chet's face! Woman whispered excitedly. Virgil chuckled, finally relaxing completely. Glad you liked the show. Let's hope that's the end of it, he said as they entered their first class. I would love for that to be it, but I doubt it, Woman sighed. Chad hadn't mentioned much that indicated he'd seen more than a pic of them spending the day together. Over time, the contents of the articles written about those pictures would make their way through school. Yeah, you're probably right, Virgil nodded. For the first few hours of their day, though, both while they walked together and after they parted ways, they stuck to their usual banter, ignoring the phones being aimed at them and the whispers following them around. They beamed as they reported on their progress to their history teacher and got a rare approving smile. After history, Roman met up with Joe and Xander for the next period and proceeded with his life as though the press had no influence on it, meaning he deflected questions about his outing with Virgil, promising to elaborate during lunch, which of course brought him in the position of sitting on one of the picnic benches outside with his entire theater group looking at him expectantly. In the distance, he saw Virgil and his group hanging out at the amphitheater. It looked like he was in the same predicament. It was like they were Sandy and Danny at the start of Greece. Well, tell us everything, Zeynep insisted. And honestly, a woman really wanted to gush. So he talked about the drawings and the thought that went into even Virgil's choice of vehicle. He told them about the fun they had shopping together and how good those waffles tasted and how amazing the movie was. And then, Dorian wondered with a sigh. Then, Roman blushed as he thought about the photo shoot. Then he took me to my second birthday gift, and then we ate dinner and he brought me home, he said, not wanting to discuss the details so publicly. What was the present? Zeynep wondered. What was dinner like? He asked almost simultaneously. Roman chuckled. I'll show you some other time, he said. And he got me pizza with my favorite toppings, he said. He knows your favorite toppings, Xander said, his eyebrows raised and a smug grin on his face. Roman blushed. Well, yeah. Oh, come on, there is more. Tell us, Vince pleaded. Hey, Princey. Roman's head snapped up as did the heads of all his friends. Virgil was smirking down at him, his friends behind him. Woman's heart leaped into his throat. Did he hear something? Could he tell how head over heels he was for him? Uncle Jay decided to get us a summary of what the press figured out about us, meaning what they made up based on a Google search and some pictures. Want to check out the summary of what our peers will be eating up like ice cream? He suggested. If it meant a few extra minutes with Virgil and avoiding any more questions for a bit, then Roman was all for it. Sure, he nodded. The skaters settled in the grass, and Virgil went to sit on top of the table, patting the spot next to him, which Roman took. Okay, so the pictures aren't that bad. Just showing off you and I hanging out, Virgil started, scrolling through his phone. According to Uncle Jay, there are a few very nice articles actually. A quote he felt he had to mention was, Passion Air makes a fashionable entrance with a stylish friend. I don't hate it, Virgil shrugged casually. His friends chuckled, but Roman saw the way they were keeping an eye on his body language. He wondered if learning that Virgil's jokes about the Grim Reaper weren't jokes had affected them. Were they worried they'd been missing signals in the past? He was glad that they didn't turn their back on him now that his life turned out to be heavier than they thought. There are a few who misgender me, which blows, but I'm pretty sure Uncle Jay and Uncle Pat are already getting ready to bury those tabloids if possible. Of course, most assume I'm dating you 'cause that sells. One or two push me as a troublemaker 'cause I have an attitude and brightly colored hair, and they didn't do any research. Supposedly, I'm going to be a bad influence on you. Or even trying to take advantage of the sweet, innocent, naive, sheltered kid who just wants a chance to hang out with the cool kids. You're Veronica Sawyer. Again, they are on the chopping block. Just you wait, Virgil assured them, as amused by this fact it seems. Let's see. Oh, now he's getting all long-winded. If Uncle Jay starts trying to ease me into something, it's saying something. He's a sarcastic piece of work, but super blunt. Ah, yeah, I figured. So one article that frames me as a poor defenseless little angel driven from my home by bigotry, yada yada yada. Yeah, they mentioned the treatments, by the way. He clarified dismissively, but Roman noticed his hands tensing around the phone and scooted a little closer. Anyway, they give me a whole bunch of accolades. They did quite some research. They even know I'm in the running for prom king. And they decided it was a good idea to drag your name through the mud on this one. Supposedly I'm your charity case. They think we are dating too, though. Some kind of trophy wife type situation. I make you look good and you ensure I get the treatment I need. Oh, right. I forgot to mention they might make it seem like I'm still sick and at the same time winning prizes as an athlete. 'Cause that makes sense. Virgil rolled his eyes and then looked at Rowan. So, you good? He asked, clearly worried. So freaking sweet! Yes, I was always going to be portrayed as either a perfect little cherub or a spoiled brat. Now I am an angel or a brat with a hot boyfriend. So, from where I'm sitting, it looks like an upgrade. He joked. Virgil chuckled and nodded. Fair point, he grinned. How about you? The woman asked. Virgil shrugged. I don't care much. A few months from now, it won't matter what anyone here has to say. I'm going to enjoy my time and handle the problems as they come. And I'm sure they'll come. And I will likely worry about them from time to time, but mostly I want to just hang and have fun. How about you? Still want to hang with me? He asked. The woman felt a smile overtaking his face. Of course, whatever consequences come, I'll never regret being your friend, he vows. And the smile Virgil gave him was definitely one of relief.